Yesterday, several San Jose police officers responded to a resident's call for help when an adult male suspect began discharging a firearm in the back parking lot of a densely populated apartment complex. The investigation is still underway, with interviews and evidence collection still ongoing, and additional details are still unfolding. The potential for a mass tragedy last night was immense. This apartment complex was filled with people enjoying a warm Sunday evening. Families, friends, and children were safe one minute and the next in grave danger. What they did next was the one thing they knew would stop this nightmare and make their families safe again. They called San Jose police officers for help. Like countless times before, our officers responded selflessly, placing themselves between vulnerable people and a violent individual. Upon their arrival, they were met with gunfire. Thankfully, they were not injured. Their actions demonstrate the very essence of courage and sacrifice. Just 17 days ago, I stood before you expressing both gratitude and anger after another close call when two of our brave officers were shot and wounded while responding to another call for help from our community. One of those officers remains hospitalized today, recovering from the encounter. We are still shaken by that attack, of nearly losing two of our own, only weeks later to be here again, describing the incident where three more brave officers successfully defended themselves and our community from an individual who tried to kill them. Our officers confront real dangers every day, facing armed individuals intent on causing harm. Yet you rarely hear about most of these encounters because of the superior tactics, training, and de-escalation skills that in the overwhelming majority of cases prevent these threats from turning into tragedies. In the last 15 months, 15 San Jose police officers have been shot at, with 5 officers being struck by gunfire. The frequency of San Jose police officers being shot at or hit by gunfire has gone from a rare anomaly to a regular occurrence. We cannot allow attempts of killing of our officers to become normalized, expected, or tolerated. In the coming days, I will bring together a group of internal and external partners for the purpose of analyzing these attacks and the proliferation and use of illegal guns in our community and against our officers. We need to understand better why we are seeing increased attacks and what we can better do to keep the community and our officers safe. I hope to have more details on that effort in the near future. As we actively investigate this incident, some details may change as new information emerges, but what we can tell you now is the following. Yesterday afternoon at approximately 4:11 p.m., officers responded to a call of a male actively discharging a firearm from a vehicle in the rear of an apartment complex located in the 2700 block of Colmar Drive. The anonymous reporting party called to report, quote, "someone shooting bullets from a van," end quote. Details later emerged that the suspect had also blocked access to the parking area to another neighbor and had brandished a firearm at her. That neighbor was a mother returning home to her children in the apartment complex. At approximately 4:16 p.m., a 2-officer unit arrived on scene. At approximately 4:17 p.m., officers broadcast over the radio that they were being shot at by the suspect. 2 officers returned fire. The suspect reloaded his firearm and ran northbound through the apartment complex. Officers lost visual of the suspect and broadcast over the radio that they could hear that the suspect was still shooting in the complex. Additional responding officers arrived on scene and were positioned in the area to where the suspect was fleeing. The suspect encountered one of those officers. The suspect then pointed his firearm at one of the responding officers while aggressively advancing toward him. This prompted a separate officer to discharge his firearm, striking the suspect. The suspect was taken into custody at approximately 4:21 p.m. Responding officers immediately provided medical aid to the suspect and summoned medical personnel to the scene. The suspect was transported to a local hospital with life-threatening injuries and remains hospitalized in critical condition. A loaded, unregistered firearm was recovered from the suspect at the scene. The swift response to the call for help by our officers likely saved the lives of many families in the apartment complex and surrounding neighborhood. The motivation and circumstances surrounding how and why a felon prohibited from possessing firearms obtained a weapon and went on a shooting spree will take some time to understand and investigate. Some of these answers we may never discover. The suspect is 41-year-old Ricardo Villarreal, a resident of San Jose. He has an extensive criminal history with convictions that prohibit him from owning firearms. This includes a prior conviction where the suspect was sentenced to 10 years in prison for assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer while also in possession of a sawed-off shotgun and a stolen vehicle. The suspect's currently on active felony probation out of Santa Clara County for a different offense. The first officer involved has 3.5 years of experience as a police officer. The second officer involved has 4 years of experience as a police officer, and the third officer involved has 4.5 years of experience as a police officer. All three officers are CIT trained and have their body-worn cameras activated at the time of the incident. This is San Jose Police Department's third officer-involved shooting of 2024. As in all San Jose Police Department officer-involved shootings, a thorough investigation is being completed by the department's homicide unit and the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office. Cases also being monitored by the San Jose Police Department's Internal Affairs Unit and the City Attorney's Office and the Office of the Independent Police Auditor. What unfolded yesterday afternoon was another reminder of just how dangerous being a police officer is. Illegally possessed guns continue to proliferate our streets and place our community and officers in danger. I could not be more proud of all the officers who responded to this call for help. They put others before themselves, and that saves lives.